Have you ever thought that a footballer could compete against something more difficult than an opponent, more complex than a tactical system, against time itself? Because that is exactly what Messi has done throughout all of 2025. And what is truly striking is not that this is said by a fan, or a journalist, or someone chasing quick impact. It's said by Ronaldinho, someone who understands the game from a special place, someone who also turned football into a spectacle, who won everything, and who knows how to recognize when he is witnessing something out of the ordinary. Ronaldinho shared something that, said quickly, seems ordinary, but in reality carries much more weight than it appears. He said that every time he looks at his phone in the morning, the headlines repeat themselves like an endless loop. Messi scored again, Messi delivered another assist, Messi was decisive. And then he added a sentence that completely changes the perspective. Seeing him there no longer surprises me. What surprises me is that he keeps doing it with such natural ease. That is the real point. Because one thing is to appear in the headlines from time to time, and something very different is to do it as if it were part of a daily routine, at 38 years old. In a kind of football that is increasingly faster, more physical, more demanding on the body, Ronaldinho was even more direct. He said that Messi's goals are not normal, that they belong to another dimension of the game, and he closed with a very characteristic line, one of those that blend admiration and amazement. He plays as if the clock didn't exist. That idea goes far beyond goals. It speaks to footballing sensitivity, to reading the rhythm of the match, to knowing exactly when to speed things up and when to slow them down. It speaks to pure intelligence. Because Messi no longer competes only against defenders, he competes against the years. And even so, he keeps winning. For a long time, it was said that the MLS would be a comfortable stage, a place to slow down, enjoy the final stretch, and close out a career without too much demand. Messi took that prejudice and completely dismantled it. He didn't just arrive in the MLS, he put it on the map, turned it into a global topic of conversation. Today, the league is talked about all over the world, not because of its structure or its history, but because of what Messi does every time he steps onto the field. And Ronaldinho understood it immediately. He said it from experience, from someone who also knew how to change the energy of a stadium with a single play. The years go by, but Messi keeps playing the same. That sentence is key, because we are not watching a diminished Messi, nor someone merely managing his presence. He doesn't walk through matches, he doesn't hide, he doesn't play it disappearing. He remains the center of the game, the one who decides where it hurts most, the one who turns every stadium into a stage. If we think about it calmly, the question is inevitable. How many footballers from his generation are still absolute protagonists? Most have already retired, others appear only in a testimonial role, some have become symbols of the past. Messi, on the other hand, continues to be the axis. His team is organized around him, the league adapts to his presence, and the public responds as if every match were a special appointment. That's where an uncomfortable reflection emerges. Today, football is not measured only in titles. It is measured in impact, in attention, in conversation, in the ability to make someone who has never watched a match sit down in front of a screen. And in that arena, Messi is still alone. What Ronaldinho said carries different weight, because it does not come from exaggeration. It comes from respect between peers, from someone who knows what it means to play with freedom, with a smile, with creative responsibility. In football, it is not common to recognize that so clearly. And yet, Ronaldinho did, because what Messi does no longer allows for debate. It can only be observed. Every weekend, something new appears. A pass that breaks everything, a goal that defies logic, an assist that freezes the stadium. And when someone doubts, Messi responds where he always has, on the field. Without speeches, without gestures, just football. Ronaldinho summed it up in a very simple way, almost innocently, the way he used to talk about the game. This is not normal. And he is right. It is not normal to see a player at this stage of his career continue to make a difference. It is not normal that, instead of fading, he lights up matches. It is not normal that, far from saying goodbye, he seems to enjoy it more and more. And then the inevitable question appears. Until when? How long can he sustain this level? How long can he keep challenging time, logic, statistics? No one knows. But we do know one thing. We are living through something that does not happen often. Messi is not closing out a career. He is stretching a story. He is proving that true talent has no expiration date. And as long as he keeps stepping onto a field, and all of this keeps happening, football will retain that unique ability to surprise us, even when we think we have already seen everything. There is also something even more striking than the goals or the assists. The way Messi controls matches without imposing himself physically. He no longer competes through speed or contact. He competes through control of time. He manages the rhythms as if the match were a board game, and he decided when to move each piece. In the MLS, this is clearly visible. There are moments when he seems to disappear, as if he were taking a breath. He lets the match move forward without him, and suddenly, with a single action, he changes everything. A through ball, a 1-2, a precise finish. He doesn't need to pile up actions. One is enough. That is what unsettles opponents and fascinates coaches. Because playing like that cannot be trained. You either understand it or you don't. Many reduce everything to the idea of a less demanding league. But that reading is superficial. Football does not become simple just because physical intensity drops. It becomes more complex because of space, mismatches, chaos. And that is where Messi moves best. Where others rush, he pauses. Where others force things, he decides. There is an image that repeats itself. Messi receives the ball with his back to goal, surrounded. He lowers his head for just a second, as if he were reading something no one else can see. When he lifts his gaze, the decision has already been made. The pass goes to an unexpected place. That is not youth. That is accumulated experience. And there is another dimension that Ronaldinho always valued, and that many overlook. Messi does not just play better, he makes others play better. He gives them time, confidence, meaning. Teammates who once went unnoticed now appear in key moments. Not by magic, but because someone organizes them through the game. That is why his impact goes beyond the numbers. When Messi steps onto the field, everything falls into place. The opponents know it, the crowd feels it, the match changes, not out of fear, but out of respect. The kind of respect that only footballers who left a mark can generate. And here, an uncomfortable truth emerges. When Messi retires, it will not only leave a sporting void, it will leave a narrative void. Because we are not just watching a player, we are watching a central figure of an era, one of the last great symbols of a football that still believed in talent over noise. Ronaldinho, without saying it directly, made it clear. Messi is an exception, an anomaly, someone who should not exist at this age, and yet does. He keeps deciding matches, keeps being influential, keeps being the name everyone looks to when the scoreboard tightens. Maybe that is why each of his matches feels different. Not because it is the last, but because it could be one of the last. And that feeling changes the way we watch, feel, and enjoy. Because when Messi stops playing, someone just like him will not appear. There will be great footballers, yes, but not one who combines history, talent, impact, and longevity in this way. That is why, beyond the MLS, beyond Miami, beyond titles, what we are witnessing is something that will be missed. A way of understanding football, a way of solving without imposing, of winning without shouting, of dominating without overwhelming. Now I ask you, do you think Messi can sustain this level until the end of his contract in the MLS? Or are we witnessing the final chapters of an unrepeatable era? I'll read you in the comments.